this is the head from the big one. So at least you can see the head. The filleting didn't come out so well, but once you get it in the breaded mix and fried, it's gonna be delicious. So that's the big boy. All right, so this smaller one, and then I got another fish over in the prep area. Let's get this one done. Let's maybe sharpen the knives a little bit. I got this little cheap sharpener. Let me give some more. I've been sharpening this in the process. It's an inexpensive one, but if you all have a recommendation, or if you work for a restaurant supply or a kitchen supply and you want to send me a more fancy sharpener so that I can do a product trial, we're open to that. So we do this on what's labeled as the coarse side on this, and then we flip it. I think the little inside, I think, is a little ceramic. This is the fine side that you do this after you've done the coarse side. I've already sharpened the shears. These things that look like poultry shears, but these are actually heavy duty. I got from the Tractor Supply farm store. And these, I literally sharpen these and use these to dispatch chickens when I'm processing live chickens. All right, so what I like to do is, and I'm not an expert, I'm still learning, I'm trying to get my skills up with this filleting. I like to actually, let's try something different here. Let's try, I usually don't do this, but let's try clipping off the fins first. Get them out the way. See if that makes things easier. I love these heavy duty shears. They're really multi-purpose. I use them for harvesting vegetables out of my greenhouse, and for, as I said, dispatching chickens and a variety of things. So I try to take care of these and use this sharpener on each side of the shear, and when I'm done, I'll get some soap and water and clean these up and dry them. And these kind of things will last you for years, these utensils, if you take care of them. And you see I'm working with this little white chopping block. I've got a towel underneath it to keep it from sliding around. It's on my 9-foot long granite countertop, so if I use a cleaver to chop anything up, I'm very careful how I do it so there's not so much shock and impact even through this board and the towel underneath. I don't want so much shock and impact that it cracks this 9-foot long granite. It's pretty expensive. It's called cashmere gold. It's mined, extracted from India, I believe, or that part of the world. And let's see, so we've clipped the fins off, and let's get our knife here, and let's try to get an angle where you can see this. All right, so I like to start to cut down at the tail. Down here. And then I'd kind of go down and then turn the blade kind of horizontal, because I'm following, there's a center bone down the center of the body of these fish, and I'm trying to ride on top of that and get all the meat I can. And what I do is I take, this is a scaler, but we're not, these are largemouth bass. They do have scales, and you can gut them. I've already gutted this one, and then put it in the freezer, and then thawed it. A couple days later, I think I caught these, was it 2 days ago? And then gutted them, froze them right away, keep them fresh, and then thawed them out so I could fillet them and cook them. So you could, after these are gutted, you could scale this fish and then cook it, or cut it up and cook it after you scale it. But if you fillet it, I'm gonna cut each side of this fish, and that'll leave the scales and skin on each side, and then I'll skin the fish. I'll try to show you that. Let me just keep going here. Okay, you see, just ride that on knife blade on top of the center bone. Ride it. And this knife is sharp, it's not a toy. So if you're not, a careful person or whatever, you may want to have somebody kind of, I recommend if you can get somebody who knows how to do this and teach you. Let me just recommend it that way. If you're not proficient in the kitchen, not saying I'm proficient, but I am careful, or try to be careful. And my brother, he was a master fisherman and fillet and cook and all that. And so I've watched him do it quite a bit. I'm nowhere near on his level. But we're trying to get there, because it's nice once you cut away the center bone, and there'll be still some bones in this fish, but you'll have just a lot of meat, and not as much bone. You see how I like to, when I get up toward the head, I like to take these shears and cut through. Now maybe if I get a better fillet knife and a different sharpener, maybe it'll be so sharp I won't have to do this. Again, if you work for a kitchen supply, a restaurant supply, you can send me a different fillet knife, and I will trial test it in my kitchen, or even a chopping block. I thought about making a big old wooden chopping block. Feel free to send that to me. All right, so you see how that comes out, nice fillet, and I'll skin that in a minute. The big fish was bigger, but it was tougher. I shouldn't say tough, because meat's very delicate on that, but it's more difficult trying to fillet it, just because the bones are bigger on that big boy. So we may have to change up on our utensils for bigger fish, because there's some ones bigger than this that we've caught in my micro lake, my pond. But this size is real good eating size too. You get a lot of meat on this. You see I'm trying to ride. There'll still be some meat on this center bone, and I'll show you in a second what I do with that. Okay, let's get our poultry shears. These are, I call them poultry shears. I got these from, did I say I got these from Tractor Supply? It's kind of like a farm store. And they're very heavy duty. I use them to dispatch chickens, harvesting fruit, not fruit, but vegetables from my garden. What else? And I try to take care of these, sharpen them, clean them when I'm done with this, keep them clean. And so take care of your tools and they will last a long time. Okay, I think we got this pretty well done. All right, so this center bone, it's got some meat on it, and we may save that because maybe sometime I don't feel like fishing. I can pull out these center bones and fry them up. They do have some meat on them. And again, because of this 9-foot granite underneath this, I gotta be real careful how I do this. That was maybe a little harder than I wanted to. You gotta be careful of your fingers, folks. Okay, so we'll put this to the side there. This head, it will be snack for the chickens. Yep, they like a fish dinner too. All right, let me see how I can do this where you can see this. Let me see. Let's see, what angle should we do? I think this is the angle. All right, can you see that? All right, I'm gonna take this knife and I'm going to skin this. And hopefully the knife has retained its sharpness. I'm trying to get it without having to sharpen it again. And I'm going just, I feel like I almost need an oyster glove. I may buy one, those metal mesh gloves that people use when they're shucking oysters to protect their hands. I may get one of those. But in the meantime, I'm gonna just carefully do this. I think that helped cutting the fins off with my shears. I'm still learning. I'm still learning on this filleting, and hopefully the more I do, the better I get. Now, what my brother told me is, he said, you know, hey, he told me, you just got to mess up some fish when you're learning to fillet. He was a master filleter, master fisherman. Oh, he could outfish me on my little micro lake. And actually some of the technique I was using was courtesy of him. He's passed away now, but the skills that he had he's probably the best in the family as far as fishing. My dad used to take us when we were young, but my brother, he's gone to another dimension he went to another dimension as far as his fishing skill and could outfish all of us. But I did pick up a few things from him, at least a few things. So due respect to my elder brother. So as you can see, and maybe I didn't get as close here, but you can see here is a good example how we're just skinning this. Hopefully you can see that. I'm trying to get down to the skin, but not break the skin on the fish, but get all that good meat. Hopefully if you come back, you'll see me getting better and better at this. These skills, food prep and cooking, are valuable. It used to be just cooking and stuff was something that was expected of housewives and those managing the house. But somehow it's come to the point where it's been devalued, these skills, by in some quarters, by some that, you know, I remember back in the 80s, one of the political figures, internationally known, where she claimed that she's not the kind of woman to stand by her man and bake cookies. Look, I tell you, don't discount and don't throw shadow, don't throw, disparaging remarks about baking cookies or cooking frying fish or whatever you want, because I tell you, it's makes you more valuable to many potential spouses that look at you able to really get in that kitchen and do some serious cooking. That's a plus. I'm telling you. Don't let these feminists fool you. There's nothing like coming in the house and there's even some homemade scratch cookies, even some homemade rolls has a good smell. I had more than one auntie that could make rolls. I tell you, just smelling the rolls, let alone whatever else was cooking, just since I was a little boy, I would remember sitting by the stove while the auntie was cooking them rolls, and as a little boy, how kids sometimes, they want cake, and I like that stuff too, but her rolls were so good. I was just impressive to me. All right, so we got this fillet pretty much done. And let me turn off this camera and make haste and finish these fish, and I'll show you. Shout out to Candace. Shout out to Candace, who told me to. She was saying, "Oh, I need to get some of this Louisiana New Orleans fish fry, the lemon flavor." So we're gonna try that. So we'll show you a bit more. But let me stop these cameras and pick up the speed a bit here, and get these fish ready for putting them in the New Orleans style breading. Okay, folks, so this is probably the best of the fish that I'm filleting. To give you an idea, see how this is just almost paper thin. I still see some meat I can improve on this, but you see this kind of paper thin, and we're left with this is just one side of the smallest of the bass that we're filleting tonight and cooking. See there? So that's still has some bone, and I probably could even cut that out. But we'll just take this fillet and cut it up and cook that. So hold tight and we'll get the Louisiana New Orleans fish fry. Oh, that's getting a real good smell on that. Now, you might notice that I'm trying to deep fry without using so much of my oil. I did buy a gallon of oil, but I was trying to, instead of using the kettle I have, it's called a Dutch oven. It's an iron, deep pot looking thing. You can look up a Dutch oven. I wanted to use this big pan so I can spread all the fish out, try to get it cooked at one time and minimize how much oil that I use up. And I may have to like flip this fish over, get it cooked all good on all sides, but probably should have used just a bit more oil. Okay, we'll go with this. Last time I did these, I did it like 5 minutes on each side, but I don't think I'm going to be able to flip all this fish. The fillets are so tender they're falling apart, and I don't want to break it all up. But again, shout out to Candace for recommending or advising that New Orleans, Louisiana fish fry was a thing to do. Now usually that's, I think a lot of people use it for catfish. I do catch catfish in my mini lake / pond. These are bass, so that's what I'm using, and I think that will work. At least it's got a real good smell on it. And I'm going to turn this camera off so I can pay better attention to this cooking and my timing and start cleaning up. All right, we're going to do a taste test. We're going to do a taste test by testing a little piece of this freshwater largemouth bass with the New Orleans, Louisiana fish fry used as the breading, and it's fresh out of the skillet. That's good. That's good. I'm gonna put this camera down and we're gonna get some sides and eat this fish while it's hot. I'm trying to hold back from eating till I can get my situation together here. I need to clean up a little bit more right quick and get busy with this bass. Again, shout out to Candace, sweet young lady, who recommended I use the Louisiana New Orleans fish fry, the lemon one that has real lemon in it. All right, take care, folks.